Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
All right.
How's this mic sound? All right.
Yeah, you sound okay.
Test. How's
Cheers.
this?
Sounds good.
Low. Chad sounds low.
Put it over here. Probably
There you
a
go.
little far away.
Proximity. There you go.
Oh. Hey, there's
Andy,
the
we don't
orb.
need to know about you. We just want the problems to develop over time during the podcast.
Yeah.
Nah, the orb takes care of all. He's under orb power.
Yeah, I haven't had any mishaps since I got the orb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it takes to ward off disease, but it's probably working right now.
That's a different orb.
Yeah.
I gotta hand it to you, Andy. You keep showing
So
up
any
here
news?
with cancer, and I had a sinus infection for 2 days, and I wanted to call off. So I'm a big pussy. And
well, I saw you weren't smoking weed, and I was concerned, and then I saw that it was a health problem, and I was like, "Oh, okay, good."
That only lasted 2 days, and I was afraid my wife was going to divorce me, so I had to start smoking weed, even if it hurt.
Uh-huh.
So Chad, what happens? Is it just your sinuses are irritated enough that the smoking just makes it totally worse, and then you don't get out of bed, you don't do shit? I mean,
my chest was all congested, and it hurt just to fucking breathe, not alone, let alone breathe in smoke. So
yeah,
I did go and get a COVID test.
Oh
on,
yeah, I was going to ask
Friday.
that. No COVID though.
So that's I told Jenny, I said, it's like I let all those guys know the Mitch Hedberg COVID test. I don't have it, so you guys probably don't have it. We all hung out. You don't know anybody with COVID? Well, you know me.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, it's like this new strain. People say they don't know of anyone who even they were around that had it, and they're getting it. So it must be like crawling up into the fucking through the pipes and shit. It's gonna get us. Oh, you've already had it. Erickson's had it more than nobody else has had it, right?
More than
no, I haven't.
You've had it like two times.
I don't know how many times I've had it. I just keep getting it. I had it in July, I think. I mean, I've never been tested, so I don't know for sure.
You're like the glory hole guy in the AIDS era.
And I was sick all this week, but I don't think it was COVID. I think it was just Florida.
Oh, well, yeah.
That could be
I don't know. Here's the thing.
Your body rejecting Florida?
Yeah. I mean, we have a COVID testing site up the street, but the line is hours long. And I'm just not going to go sit in that line. I'm just going to I stayed away from everybody, whether it's COVID or not. I know I'm sick. I was sneezing everywhere. I know I'm contagious, so I'm just going to stay home, whether it's COVID or not. So I don't know.
I would have just stayed home and toughed it out. The only reason we were Jenny was getting the grandkids for the weekend, and she hadn't seen them for like 3 weeks, and she really wanted them to come over. So I went and I said, well, I love you so much. I went to urgent care and sat for 4 fucking hours.
Really? To get the test?
Outside, yeah. Yeah,
oh,
you go in and check in, and then you just have to go sit outside on the wall with all the homeless people.
And then they jam that thing way the fuck up your head.
This one was an easy one. They just went in like to here on both sides, but they did it for so long that it started getting annoying. Like, fuck, stop. But it didn't hurt, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I let loose with the language on the last one, and I have another one, of course, coming up before my big party, the 20th, having a release party. It's a gallbladder release.
Cool, man. You're so metal, bro.
Yeah. I'm doing the gallbladder in vinyl. And then I'm going to do a series of backyard shows to promote my gallbladder release.
Good for you.
And he's going to sell his gallbladder at the merch table.
Yeah. Andy Baker's gonna bake up a recipe with my pancreas.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I know Brett got into a little bit of the Cobra Kai. I don't know if you went deep.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, it's I got
season 3.
Yeah, see, well,
4.
Is it 4?
Oh my God!
It almost really doesn't matter. Well,
it doesn't matter anymore.
At this point, it doesn't matter, but it's just all kinds of fucking problems there.
Dude, it is. I mean, you said it last week. Like, you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the molestation to start. But as I was watching it, I was struck by the fact that these kids would be better off if they were being molested instead of being taught the lessons these adults are teaching these children.
They're being groomed by, like. And here's the thing: it's apparently they're people who show up for the big tournament. They may be parents, but they don't especially seem like parents.
No.
And there's no parents involved. And I don't know how these motherfuckers can run a dojo without getting payment from parents. Like, I don't care how good your student is. You know, that's what the whole fucking, these guys are in it for revenge and shit. It's like, how the fuck you turn revenge into, you know, I know they all seem to wear merch. So they make money on merch.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, it's season 4. Every season has gotten more and more ridiculous. And of course, look, it's Cobra Kai. Of course, it's fucking ridiculous. I'm not expecting fucking Macbeth, but
it's no Yellowstone.
Dude, it's Yellowstone level of ridiculousness when you're watching it and you're going, but no, come on, that can't.
Yeah.
Because you're right, Andy. There are no parents involved.
Yeah.
At all.
Man, and you know how it is when you have
a Kai dojo, and they're like, "Oh, I'm getting picked on at school. I want to be a." Yeah. And then they beat the shit out of the kid some more in the dojo and kick him out, and then he comes back and they bring him in. But at no point does a parent write a check.
Yeah. And they're not involved. It's like, they'd be like, "How come my kid's not getting a shot at black belt?"
Come on, we're taking. This isn't 1970s. They can have an auto picture.
The Valley tournaments run like that tournament in Hoosiers, the movie, where it's like every skill level has a equal shot to be champion, which doesn't work in karate, and they don't have pads on their hands or feet. So putting a fucking nerd who just started because he was getting bullied, who all of a sudden, it doesn't matter about skill or anything. They just like fucking randomly assigned. Yeah, and the parents not being involved is like, they would be like, hey, and especially like now, like it's set in today's, so they could Google them. It's like, hey, so you guys are both were you in Nam together? You don't have like some buddy blood pack situation, do you? It would really, I had that at another dojo, and we're.
I will say that I enjoy Johnny's character. Like, I wish the show was just about Johnny, because he's funny, because the idea of the kid who lost at the Valley tournament at the original Cobra Kai leader is now just an old drunk who drives around in a Camaro drinking Coors Banquet beers and jamming the REO Speedwagon is inherently funny to me.
Yeah.
Isn't it more like praising Courtney Love for being like a good heroin addict on the screen? Wasn't this basically what this guy was probably doing, waiting for this Cobra Kai thing to come
kind of. It does seem like his face was ready for that part.
Like no makeup. Like hey, to makeup? No, really I just came from the car.
Face like that. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like that was how he rolled out, but maybe that's just because he's a great actor. He knew that part was coming, so he went and drank a bunch of Coors Banquet beers and ate at TGI Fridays.
Yeah, just be used, William Zabka.
But it's like, I mean, I would be looking over both those karate teachers at Cobra Kai going, so you eat frosty or tips, And then the only adult who walked into their dojo, and I'm probably, you probably aren't that far into it. So, but there's
I know. I watched the all season.
Okay. So yeah, they beat the shit out of that guy. And that's another thing. You can't run a business where an adult comes in there and wants to take classes and you beat the living shit out of him. I don't know what kind of business model that is. It's worse.
I mean, you better be next door to a lawyer in that strip mall.
Yeah.
There are so many ridiculous things happen at the All Valley tournament in season 4 that and obviously spoilers, everyone. But Miguel, who was the character who a couple seasons ago fell from the top steps at the all high school fight that they had, and then landed on the banister and broke his back and ended up in a wheelchair. He's back now and he's fighting again. And he hurt himself and he screamed and he dropped to the mat. And it's like, oh no, he broke his back again. He's done. And they get him in the back and they're looking at him. Oh, turns out it's just a pulled muscle. Oh, thank goodness.
Pulled muscle.
Yes. Oh, it gets better. Then they say, oh, well, you can still fight if you want to fight. You've got 30 minutes to decide. And they ramp up the drama and they start the clock on the board where all the fight things, and they got a countdown clock to see if he'll come back. And then he's standing there and he's trying to decide, and Johnny comes in as sensei and tosses him some like Ben Gay, and he's like, here, rub this on it. And the kid's like, I don't know. And they're like, yeah, just come back out. I'm like, all right, well, first of all, if you really do pull a muscle, it doesn't just go away because it wasn't breaking your back. You still
you do that thing like that. Isn't that how it works on that show?
Yeah. I thought.
I mean, look at the shot behind me here. This is him falling. That doesn't look. I mean, at the very least, that's going to be a fracture or something. He's falling on cement steps.
No, see that banister, but see the handrail. He hit that with the middle of his back when he landed. I mean, he's lucky he wasn't broken in two, and he was already fighting back in it this year.
Well,
he also put on a few pounds. Miguel hasn't skipped any meals between season 3 and season 4 of Cobra.
Wheelchair will do that to you.
Yeah, well, I can understand that.
Yeah. Come on, man. The guys are recovering from a thing. It's his first time of being on the set where they had catering. And then he just the whole quitting thing. It's like, you were the champion a couple of years ago. Wasn't he the champion a couple of years ago?
Yeah, he won. He was the first champion.
Nobody's ever, and it seems like, man, that's just like the kids it's like this hype machine. The adults are running and the kids are in this fighting each other with all these grudges and shit. And it's like, fuck this corporate man, fuck it. Let's go fight in a fucking, burnout factory.
Yeah. Well, that happens in this season where the kid Hawk, the kid with the spot, the mohawk,
former spy terror.
He's finally had enough.
The guy with the mohawk is called Hawk. Are you shitting me?
Well,
I think that was a name someone gave him.
Yeah,
because he walked in like he came in immediately.
Well, he was a nerd who cooled himself up and gave himself a mohawk. But at one point, he's finally had enough. He walks away from it. He's sitting at home. He's cut his hair. He has no mohawk anymore. He's playing his video games or whatever. And this other kid comes in and tries to talk him into coming back to the dojo. And he's like, no, this is stupid. I hate it. It's dumb. We're all just... But the kid talks him into it. He has to come back. It's like he's the only character in the whole season who's making the right decision at any point during the show. And, they talk him into coming back. It's like, oh, no, stay home. You're right.
And what tournament would put the chicks on as the main event?
No, they do that in UFC now. Sometimes they don't.
Do they?
Not every week. Yeah.
Well, this is all the All Valley tourney.
How hot are the chicks?
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down.
Depends on, one's
they're supposed to be in high school, Chad.
It's
so
the
you're not
Ginger
even
Marianne
Oh,
thing.
I was talking more about the UFC. I didn't think about your high school show.
Oh yeah,
but it's okay because I looked on IMDb and the one girl's 24 years old, so I didn't feel quite so bad about what I was feeling internally while I was watching.
Yeah, Saved by the Calendar. But yeah, that show does feel a little bit like Saved by the Bell with karate. It's there's no Screech on there. Oh no, there kind of is
Hawk,
that one.
Hawk could be
there's
it.
a nerd. There's a
There's some
nerd
nerds.
that. But man, do they get to a black belt fast?
Yeah, they get good quick.
Yeah. All you got to do is think about action and shit.
I was gonna say, imagine they had this karate program when I was in high school. I wouldn't have got all those assault charges. I wouldn't have had to join the army. I'd have a whole different life if there was Fight Club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you could fight chicks too at that certain, if it's a big open fight.
Yeah, once you get to the
if you're into that, I mean,
yeah,
it seems like seems like those senseis would beat a chick up. Yeah.
I mean, are you on the edge near the the wall waiting to get a girl down for the ground game, Andy?
No,
or are you just in there just mixing it up whatever you can?
I've wrestled a few hogs in my day.
Whenever my son was in high school, he wrestled, and there was a girl on the team, and then people had to. That was the first time I watched guys in high school have to wrestle a female, and I was like, "There's no way, you can't." They don't know where to touch them. They just get all a little awkward, hold them down, and then they've got them like in missionary position, and the chick's bucking back and forth, and you're wearing a little singlet, so they're.
Yeah, you need some boner.
As a parent, you can't yell in support of your boy to.
High school, that could ruin your career.
Yeah, and the girl's probably good at
and it's not like you know how to. It's not like you can control the horse. It's not like you can control the horse. That boner's gonna happen whether you want it to or not. 13 years old. You remember in high school when you first had to wrestle, and the gym coach goes, "Now one of you, Shaylee, all fours." So I got to get down all fours. And then the other guy puts his arm around my waist and then kneeled on one knee down, one knee up, and then puts the other hand, like, I don't even know where the other one was. I was so worried about the one around my waist. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck this is the gayest thing. And this is a sport. Why don't you just come out at like boxing, like come right out. And then now you're going to do that with a girl at the age of 13. You've wanted to get that close since sixth grade, and now the coach is making you do it.
And they don't even let you wear fucking sweatpants or nothing, man.
Hey, can I wear some cutoff jeans or something, or Bermuda shorts? This singlet's not working.
I only did the PE wrestling, and that was it felt like just kind of. We had a sadistic teacher, and he liked to pay back. And he I don't know, I just felt like he let shit go. Like if somebody was getting comeuppance, he watched it happen. And, like it didn't matter if somebody was getting hurt, he watched it.
Well, I can't imagine. First of all, if you're the PE teacher, you're not an administrator who's extremely active or attentive in the lives of the children. You know what I mean? It's not like you really give a fuck. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
Get out there
and he wasn't really coaching either. So he just wore the sweatsuit for PE class. He was a specialist, middle school PE, and a sadist. Like he was one of them with the big SWAT paddle and a reputation for swatting bare asses. That he didn't do it as I never saw him do it. But, there was always the stories about him doing it. I think they kind of had to fade it out a little bit, but they kept him hanging for a while. But this guy just so in the wrestling, I got a fucking dude who was just fucking all, he knew how to wrestle and I did not. And then, like Shaylee said, you get in that awkward thing and you're like, I don't even, this guy stinks and shit. And the next thing you know, his fucking stinky armpits are fucking pinning your face down to the mat and you're sucking for air and you're fucking breathing in his shit. And then, so the PE teacher just kind of, he recognized that, like this was probably a kid who, I deserved it. And Mr. Patterson was probably right. Fucking bless his heart. He was a
we
real
never had
like
wrestling
fucking,
at my school, so
yeah. It's
I
a
feel like
fucking.
I'm lucky.
When did
It
you
was
get your boners in school?
I had them all day long, but it
square
wasn't
dancing.
rolling around with boys
Boy,
on
they
a
could have
mat.
used you. You would have gone straight to varsity.
My dad was a good high school wrestler, so I had to start wrestling when I think I was 6. Wrestled, they called freestyle. You didn't have it in school until junior high, but I wrestled private wrestling at 6.
Wow. Did you? You didn't keep it going though.
Until my junior year of high school, I fucked up my knee. Maybe
I
it was my
could see him
sophomore
trying to
year. I don't
steer
remember.
you into,
I wasn't
get you
good
into
at it.
road wrestling. Yeah. Yeah. Could be
I didn't
the
like
next.
it.
I did. Yeah. To me, it was the worst fucking sport. And then the guys who were in wrestling were always trying to lose weight and shit. It's like, like it's kind of uncool of the coach to be like, hey man, I need you to lose 5 pounds if you want to compete this week. And that's what wrestling is. They can't ever drag that out of wrestling. And then that's what you get those awkward. Or what happens when you go up and there's a kid with no limbs, or I've seen that like these awkward fucking limb kids, like a foot and an arm or whatever, and then they're pretty good at wrestling because they're like fucking able to catch a person, and then once they catch him, they're able to fucking wrestle like a normal kid or whatever. It's not but you don't want to be the in fact, limbs are a disadvantage when you're fighting just kind of a scrappy torso.
Definitely.
I helped. And
my dad was
those
a torso.
nubs are strong.
My dad was a torso that didn't offer any resistance, and it was still difficult wrestling him in this, like sweatpants, for instance.
Did you start with your dad on all fours and then you'd wrap your arm around the weights? Your mom would blow the whistle?
No, it's kind of mid match where he's sliding off the ropes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, wrestling's just as a sport seems problematic to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it should be a thing kids should be doing.
Yeah, the kid who roughed me up too, and this was the only time I think I wrestled a woman in Florida that Doug covered in one of his tell-all stories. But I wrestled this kid in PE, and then I steered clear of the practice of wrestling. Fuck that. I would pro wrestle with friends or what we considered pro wrestling, that kind of shit. But I only had that one match, and that kid grew up to be a cop. So no wonder, he was good at like humiliating and pinning somebody's arm back or whatever the fuck. It's just stinking too. That's an advantage for a cop if they stink.
Andy, it seems like with your brothers, all older than you, that you would either be super tough and good at wrestling, or you'd at least know how to get out of the moves. You'd have experience, life experience.
But I'm big picture in that. I'm scrappy enough to get out of the move, but I'm also scrappy enough to stay out of the sport.
Andy learned how to sneak out of the house, not wrestle.
Yeah.
Slippery. But it was out of a window, not out of a chokehold.
It was always like a lower level sport in Coquille, or at least it felt like it. I'm sure there's some, back in the day, some wrestlers that went to state and shit, but it just seemed like
wasn't wrestling one of those sports? Eric, you would know this because you didn't have it, but some of these sports, you would take the guys from football or basketball. They would actually they'd be in wrestling too for part of the season. So you'd get these like super jocko guys that, not only are they in the football team and doing that whole thing of terrorizing the school, but now they've got all the wrestling moves down too. I mean, they're just building a better fucking machine.
A lot of football guys on the wrestling team. Basketball was the same season as wrestling, so you had to choose.
Yeah, okay,
either
I figured
or,
there was something. Yeah,
for that.
And the traditional bully just doesn't have a chance anymore. What with all the weapons and stuff. You can be a big jocko and push kids around and call him fag and stuff, but you got to respect that kid enough to know that he could bring a gun and shoot you in your face. So it's kind of I don't think the alpha jocko is properly, it's a problem. I don't think the gun manufacturers think of that. Like, we're not going to have our biggest and best bullies now because they're going to get shot for doing what they do. Basically, bullies are Marine sergeants training everybody to be tougher.
Whenever we'd go to those weekend tournaments for the freestyle wrestling, they always had merch that you could buy. That was a big thing. You could buy all of the stuff, and they would have all these sweatshirts that would say things like boys play football and girls play basketball and men wrestle. I don't know if that was exactly it, but that was the gist. It was real fucking douchey, all of it, the whole attitude.
It's like they have to tell themselves that to, overcome the deep understanding that they have that this is pretty gay.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of drilled into your head that it's a superior sport because it's an individual sport. You can't, if you lose, you can't be
one-on-one.
Jackass. Jackass over there missed his fucking layup, or we would have beat the other team. If you lost, it's because the other guy was fucking better and stronger than you. So when you won, you got to take a lot more pride than a team sport. Yeah. So
I mean, by the same token, that's singles tennis and bowling.
I was just gonna say that. Based on everything that we've heard today and all the other stuff we've been talking about all these other weeks and the things we know about football players and all that, it seems now like tennis really is the only sport you should encourage your kid to play. The kid's by himself on one side of the court. There's nobody to fuck with him. He can hit the ball over. If he hits it back, you know what I mean? Like, that's all there is hitting the ball and hitting it back.
What kind of tennis dojo philosophy do you believe in? First you got to see what dojo works best for your tennis player. It's like, do they want to play defensive tennis? Do they want to use their racket to start trouble?
Yes, if they hit the ball at you, hit it back. It's very defensive. Yeah. You can learn the Miyagi-Do style of tennis is to return every shot.
We have to have some meatheads though, because otherwise we'll just we wouldn't have a military, and then we would get taken over by other countries. If we were all just tennis players, you got to have. I mean, isn't that how it works?
Now the military is full of drones. We don't even have the.
Oh, I know it works now.
The ground
they don't really need
the fucking drones from.
Totally. I know. Yeah. That's a sad water cooler conversation when all the fucking Jocko jarheads realize that they can't kill nearly as effectively as the pussies sitting on their easy chair back at home killing machines. And they're like, but we're not even getting. We're not. We tried to re-enlist, but they sent us home. They don't need us.
I know. I probably told you guys this before, but I was initially going to join the Marine Corps when I was in high school. And they rejected me because I had too many assault charges. I fucking told the guy, I was like, don't you guys kill people? I understand. I thought I was really qualified. I'm a Marine. I know what you guys do.
A good recruiter would have had you in there,
Yeah.
So you just got
the wrong guy.
Yeah. There's waivers. He met all of his numbers. He didn't need my ass in there.
You hit him at the end of the month. You should hit him back.
You should have gone on the first.
Go in every week and say, I haven't choked anyone this week, man. Come on.
There was a guy in our high school. This guy seemed like he'd already been to prison, and I think he was a junior. and his name was Dwayne Dennis. He was like he was definitely a fucking troublemaker, problem guy. And he was always the one who's like, hey, let's steal toilet paper a house. He's like, let's steal a car. I mean, he went straight over, you know. But I remember we were at a party. We drove somewhere in my Datsun 510. I got so fucked up. I was passed out in the back. We were leaving. He had gotten in a fight. We were in LA and I was in Orange County. We were in LA, so we had a ways to go. He had bitten a guy's nose off, like the tip of his nose. And that was the last time I ever saw him at a high school party. And then what happened, I found out the judge basically said, you could go to jail or the military. And that was what they used to do back in 1983. And I think he clearly went into the military, because why would you purposely go to jail? I mean, the military is something that probably suit him well.
I wonder if he used that for like defending freedom, like biting somebody's nose off.
That was where those people went back then.
Yeah,
they stopped doing that after a while, because then it just got too nuts. And then they needed the drone people. So
yeah, they every once in a while they run out of bodies, like for a while. But with like Bush lowered the standard because they just got caught and they needed people, so it was like, you could be older, get it, like they wavered a lot of the rules. That would have been like the Police Academy movie right there. How come Pauly Shore didn't do, or maybe he did. Pauly Shore did some version of that already.
Yeah, in the Army now.
What was that?
Nothing
in the Army
to lose,
now, something like
nothing
that.
to lose, and a bunch of like, I don't know who the fucking actors would be, but Clint Eastwood would have been too old, maybe not. You go, Clint Eastwood is your platoon leader, going in for one more fucking war.
I just watched on Apple TV. I watched The Line, which is a documentary series about Eddie Gallagher, who is the Navy SEAL who was on trial last year or maybe the year before for murdering civilians and a prisoner in Iraq. And it's fucking crazy.
Did he get
insane?
He's not the one who got pardoned,
Trump
right?
ended up,
Trump
jumped on his side and stepped in, but this dude was a fucking maniac.
And none of the people around him supported him at all.
Right? They turned him in.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
They're the ones who turned him in. They were like, they couldn't fucking believe what he was doing, and they tried to stop him while they were over there, but they couldn't, because they were Navy SEALs. It was a SEAL team, and they were the fucking tip of the spear, and they were doing some shit. And the craziest thing is now that there's footage of everything, because all these guys have cameras on their fucking helmets. So this is like, you're watching real footage of them in action doing crazy shit, and you're like, wow, this is fucked up. But as I was watching it, I was thinking, if this kind of shit happened in Vietnam too, but in Vietnam, they took care of it on the battlefield. And that's the difference today, is that if this would have happened in Vietnam, his own guys would have just killed him.
So you're Cobra Kai. You're definitely Cobra Kai.
So you're saying he had a platoon full of tennis players?
He did.
When he needed a couple of wrestlers in the platoon.
Strike hard, no mercy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chad. These were some fucking Love 30 motherfuckers that he had on his side. It's a really well put together thing too. If you can see it, it's incredible.
I have a free thing on that Apple TV. I don't know how, but it tells me on my thing it's free until next year. So I'm gonna watch it.
You should watch it. It's fascinating because they got everybody to be in the documentary. So you're getting like confessionals, from everybody, from Eddie Gallagher and his whole side of the argument, and from the guys on the other side. So it's presented as a way, as obviously the guy who put it together has a point of view on who's right and who's wrong, but it's not, but everybody gets to talk into the camera and say their piece. So it's fucking intense, and it's wild. And the shit that these guys do and go through is unbelievable. Fuck. I'm glad I never stepped up.
They didn't have to come home like Sergeant Kreese did. And
no, I'm sure that somewhere down the road, maybe 25 or 30 years, Eddie Gallagher will start a dojo, and then some of his guys will support him, and some of the other guys, won't.
Yeah. I just never want to hire coaches
about how it all worked out, because it's fascinating the way it breaks down and who goes to which side and how it all plays out. But fuck, man, it's telling that if you watch this, you can see why America has the foreign policy difficulties it has, because the shit that you can even argue that what this guy was doing was okay based on the rules of engagement. But even if our rules of engagement allow for this shit, we're in somebody else's country doing this shit. So that just right off the bat, that kind of colors the whole thing, like if somebody from another country was coming here and doing any of this shit, we would think of them all as bad people.
Red
so even
Dawn.
the best people in this story would be it's fucked up.
It is interesting because part of I realized after the fact, of course, part of the military training is to brainwash you into covering each other's ass. They force you into what they call the buddy system. You have a buddy, and that's the dude that you they give you in basic training. They don't give you a whole tent. They give you what's called a shelter half. And so you can make like a lean-to or something out of it. But if you want to make a tent, you and your buddy have to put your shelter halves together and sleep in there. It's the real brainwashing of protect the other guy at all costs. And so that's interesting to me.
That definitely comes into play in this story. But here's just one little tidbit of a tiny bit of a spoiler that it's kind of like this would be in the trailer if you were seeing this in the theater. But at one point they had 2 sniper towers set up, and the one guy, Eddie Gallagher, is always on the gun in this one tower, even though he's the platoon leader, and they're like, he really shouldn't be on the gun at all, but that's all he wants to do is snipe people, Well, the other guys in the other tower, whenever they would see civilians, they would fire warning shots over their heads so that they would scatter before their other fucking guy could shoot them all dead. That's fucked up, man. That is fucked up. The line, check it out.
Yeah. Troops. You can't just thank them all. You got another backstory where you go arbitrarily going, hey, man, thank you for what you did over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah, you guys all did great. It's like when the teams, go by and say good game, and even the kids who don't play.
Oh, the fake handshake. You just kind of hold your hand there. Your mitt slaps their mitt.
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to play, but thank you. And sportsmanship. They don't have it in these new dojos.
Yeah, that's a shelter half, Shaylee. If you want to sleep by yourself, that's all you get.
Yeah.
But then you start worrying about the guy in the other part of this tent because you're close to him. You
can't see it, but on the top there's eyelets, grommets, where you would lash yours with his, so it would make a complete, an A-frame.
On the top, it's like this, like one of those amulets you get with your friend where the two halves go together.
BFF.
Like a
BFF
heart
tent.
pendant.
You got to find which one matches.
Yeah. And you don't even get to pick your buddy. They just force you to have a guy that fucking, this is your new best friend. You have to do everything with him. Watch his ass. He goes to the bathroom. You watch his weapon. It's you
don't get a fit
on each other. Can't ever leave your weapon alone. So that's a big rule. So you always have to watch the other guy's weapon while he goes.
This is my gun.
They don't need to do that shit. They should just all have to podcast together. No bond. We could be a unit.
Somebody get cancer. The rest of us will cover. All right, I'm going in, man. Take me, man.
That's what they call point man. That's your expendable guy. You put him out front when you're walking in your wedge. Is your guy that.
We should have had more minorities in the podcast.
We'll let James
go
on
up front. Yeah. Inman, you could take point. You're going in for a Whipple. He looks like, no, he doesn't look like Mr. Whipple.
No, he looks like a roll of Charmin.
He looks like a squeezed out roll of Charmin.
So, Andy, if you start going downhill, I guess you have to find us a black guy named Andy, so we don't have to change the name of the podcast.
The branding's already skewed really well with the Gen Zers. So
it's like the Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's trying to find a woman with that name to go on the trip with him.
I don't remember that.
You're not watching this arc? Okay.
No, is that new?
Yeah. JB Smooth broke up with a lady that he had on a trip, or her name's on a trip, and then he's trying to find other women with that same name to go on the trip.
That's funny.
So he doesn't lose the cost.
Yeah.
God, that guy's so funny.
Yeah,
I love Smooth.
I mean, he's like like those Caesar commercials, or it could be like annoying with almost anybody else doing. He's like has this ability to take it over the top and still be hilarious.
He's on Grand Theft Auto on the video game when I do my cab rides riding around. He's on a radio station, a whole radio station with Annie Litterman. I think we talked about it before. And hilarious, both of them, man. I love that.
That's so great. JB Smooth, this is going to make me be exposed for the prejudiced person I am. But what I love about JB Smooth is that he talks like I think all black people talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
Like, I know that not all black people talk like that, but I think they do somehow in my head. And it's fucking hilarious.
I told you the guy who I taught, the coach, track coach at Auburn that had this surgery done, he talked like JB Smooth. And when I was talking to Smooth, JB Smooth.
Smooth. Respect.
Yeah. So that guy did, but that's just that. I know they don't all talk that way, but
all the funniest black guys that I've been friends with talk like that.
The patter is
to some extent
great. Like just the way it's like a bouncing sort of lilt.
Preacher-esque, it's like that.
Damn, I love it.
Yeah, that's it, Andy. That is it.
Yeah. Who's
it's like
the late?
It's JB Smooth or Bernie Mac. Those are the two styles.
Yeah.
That's true.
Bad Santa when he's the security head of security. He's peeling that orange. Oh my God.
Smoking that cigarette way down.
This is Cleopatra, or a Cleopatra-esque actress from the Caesars commercial with JB Smoove.
Okay.
And all the football guys are in there. Do you know who that is?
Halle Berry?
It's Halle Berry.
Yeah, it's Halle Berry.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Just trivia. Sorry.
Well,
just came up on my Google thing.
That was a good guess.
I was going to say the warden from Shawshank Redemption.
I was going to say Kathy Griffin.
I
Fuck.
I was gonna say Rihanna, and then I realized I have no idea what Rihanna looks like, so that would be a dumb guess.
Yeah, she's she kind of like one of them celebrities who isn't. I don't know. Maybe she's oversaturated for some people, but I don't see her much. Maybe I don't have on that station or whatever.
Oh.
But like Madonna back in the day, you couldn't really get away from Madonna. She was everywhere. So bless Ray.
That was the 80s.
I'm stupid. I don't even know what my point is.
Here's
but,
Rihanna.
I know.
A bunch of white
Yeah.
guys
Okay.
Okay, so that could have been her.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. It's weird to see like people on that like Halle Berry's on a stratospheric level of A-listers, and to see her in a gambling pitch woman is kind of that's why I was like surprised it was actually someone. I just thought it was just casting call for
it's they write big checks when they want a celebrity in those things.
Yeah.
JP Smooth's got to have somebody big opposite him. He can't have just nobody.
Yeah. So like Subway sandwich has Tom Brady in their commercials just to make fun of Tom, or they make fun of Tom Brady, and he's like that must be a big check to go. Wait, but I'm Tom Brady. And it's like fucking give him $6 million.
Yeah.
So good, I'm sure it's a huge amount.
Subway had some serious work to do when it came to.
What do you mean?
Yeah, they needed to spend the money.
Spokesperson.
Yeah.
So, they had to make sure just, whatever it takes to vet this next guy.
Guys, last time we got away with it.
Yeah.
Barely. Now we're spending the money. We're not just going to go to Weight Watchers and find guys, run to fast food out of the meeting. Yeah, that backfired.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be funny if we found out that Tom Brady was banging kids.
Yeah, well, something's keeping him young.
Well, it wouldn't be funny for the kids.
No, it's never funny for the kids.
No, but but Tom
They'll
Brady
have a podcast someday,
right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
This picture's dying to be photoshopped of Tom Brady.
Oh,
how did his agent let him do that move?
A meme.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You need better representation. At least your manager's got to be in the room.
He didn't
just keep him in the room, dude. Because he didn't
even eat bread, right?
Like wasn't that the whole bit of the?
He's even cupping the balls when you Photoshop the.
Yeah, you can you put some balls down there.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of turned on.
Eric's is gonna meme that shit up.
Yeah, what happened? You haven't been memeing lately since you moved to Texas. You got you lost your nerve for memeing.
I know. I got to get back to it, man.
You're gonna walk into a bar and somebody's gonna pull a meme out, and you're not gonna have a response.
Yeah, it's moved past me.
You got to exercise that muscle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe something will happen.
There's been a lot of meme-worthy things that have happened. It's just not, you lost your nerve for it. Waiting for the shooting. You need another like a school shooting to get off your meme ass.
A lot of work memeing. You guys don't understand. These kids, they can meme just, they're just memes left and right. But, you got to
barely know what you're talking
about. And then you got to get a picture, and you might have to do some Photoshop, and then you got to type.
Yeah, what if you got to update?
You got to understand references, and nobody understands.
Totally.
And then,
you could just, the thing about it, you can make any meme. You could just make it a joke on Twitter. It's so much easier to just tweet a tweet.
So there you go.
You're gonna meme it, and you got to do a picture. There's a lot of steps.
You've been tweeting your memes.
I have been.
I was too lazy to copy and paste my my tweets over to Facebook a long time ago for Monday Motivation. So I started just doing screenshots, and now people point out all the time, "That's a nice meme, bro. That's like that." I'm like, shit, I did. I guess it is a fucking meme. God damn it.
See, you're in the game.
Yeah, more than I want to be.
I'll start memeing again. The world needs it.
Hey man, if a girl can fart into a jar and sell that, you can get back out and meme.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
That's
Do you think that really happened, or is that just
I don't know.
Marketing these days?
It
where
seems
people
like
say things like, "I'm a millionaire because of this," and nobody bothers to see if they're actually a millionaire. They're just like, "Holy fuck, they're a millionaire! I saw it on TikTok."
It's because if someone says, "I'm a hot girl and I've been selling my farts for hundreds of thousands of dollars," it seems like something that would work in this country and world. So no one checks it because,
it's probably, it could either be true or it could just be really lazy or hip money laundering. It's like, yeah, we'll just create a business. You're how old are you? You're 19. Okay. You pussy, you queef into a jar. Okay. You fart into a jar. All right. Yeah, that's the business.
Did anybody look into it? Maybe she's selling them as NFTs. Maybe it is a legit thing.
I think that's her thing that she's trying to do, is make it a like that's a currency.
Well, there was that one gal who there was the one gal who was definitely I don't know how to explain the bathwater girl, but she had like a look that was like a kind of Japanese kind of cosplay.
Yes.
And everything, and
always little girlish, like weird.
Yes, definitely. Well, that's there's a definitely a Venn diagram that overlaps.
Yeah,
there's got to be a sailor outfit or a knee highs and a short skirt. But her thing was crazy, and I do remember that she did make a lot of money, but then the fulfillment of sending little vials of liquid and all that. I'm looking at her going like, who's doing this for you? You're going to sit there and dip this thing. And even if you're just filling it from a tap, you have to seal that thing. You have to take it to, you have to take thousands of jars of little vials of water, like a perfume sample.
She's got a Shaylee. She's got a Shaylee.
Yeah, the bathwater store. Yeah, I know. It's like it seems like, oh man, I'm printing my own money, but no, it's a lot of work doing that shit. Even if it's just bathwater. But hey, I have T-shirts available. Well, I'm still able to stuff them in an envelope.
So here's what I got so far.
Yeah, a few.
All right.
When's your birthday, man?
This gal, the gal who, you guys, is this the one you're talking about? She earned $200,000 selling fart jars.
Yeah,
that's her.
That's what she says. She claims, but I mean, would she lie?
Was she? She was a character on something. Was she like on a Real World or something? She was on a reality show or something first, and
so she's got some.
That's how people knew who she was before she was selling fart jars.
So it's like a kink thing, because you ever just really wanted a fucking fart jar of value, you'd want like, some chick who works at like P.F. Chang's, you take this on your break.
Yeah, you want some like
Burger King
chubby girl who works at McDonald's to pull her polyester, pants down first. You want to see some work.
Yeah,
Somebody's
you're gonna
hold
the jar up to the light and admire the greasy film inside of it.
Yeah, you want to. You kind of want a film, but not quite a soup.
Andy, you being in the T-shirt game, much like myself and Tracy, customer service. What's the return policy on a fart jar?
Right. Yeah, this one was cracked open.
What shelf life? What's the kind of guarantee?
I had my dick out and everything. I didn't smell nothing.
Yeah. Well, I guess you probably have to have something written in there it would depend on where that person lived. Because if it's like, oh, I live in Peoria, Illinois, and I opened up my fart jar and I couldn't smell anything. Yeah, you live in a fart. So no returns, no guarantees.
Yeah. They have to put a little sticker on there that's just for
Hey,
entertainment purposes
Yeah,
only.
you can't. You can't say satisfaction
sorry.
guaranteed, because it's like, well, it didn't quite work for me, man. I would like a return. It's like, well, you used it. It's just that you didn't reach your point or whatever. But it's like you can't. It is like Chad said, entertainment purposes only, and
See, I think
no returns, man.
if I got one, I think I would just keep it sealed, and it would be like Schrodinger's fart. Like, you don't know, it stinks and it doesn't stink at the same time,
Right.
until I uncork it.
Yeah, I would send that to somebody as a thing if it really worked. Like if you could make a fucking vicious fart come out of an envelope that you sent to somebody, wouldn't you just like go to get fucking thousands of
like
envelopes?
a glitter bomb, but with smell.
Yeah. I don't think it would ever get tiresome to send them off.
We'd just be sending them to each other all the time. You got me again.
Yeah. I mean, with this pandemic, I haven't been able to sit near Stanhope in a restaurant and have him blast gas. Maybe that's a part of the world that Doug can't even do anymore because social distancing. That's half of the fun is when he would fart, like just sitting right next to you at the sushi bar or whatever. And now with the social distancing and people, it's like, it's not funny anymore. Maybe public farting is done.
Because you're just farting all by yourself.
Like you can fart, but people are in masks because they're not,
They matter.
You can blast one out, and people, like you could fart in an elevator if people are all in their masks. They might not know it. So what's the point, That's why people are getting desperate. They want them in jars or whatever. Is that the fart girl?
That's pretty hot.
Oh, that's Annie Letterman, isn't it?
She. No.
Okay.
This is off Stepanka Motto is her name. And she had to go to the hospital. She was doing 97 jars in 2 days.
Imagine her diet to keep up with that.
Yeah. What's the secret?
She had to get things rolling with some beans, a protein muffin, sometimes even a yogurt, less sugar the better, some hard-boiled eggs. While waiting for those farts to develop, I like to read. I'm very smart because smart people always tell you that they're very smart.
And
she reiterates, I love to read. I'm very smart. I love to read.
So no books on tape.
Listen, if she really did that, I admire her grift. That is fantastic. And cheers.
Yeah, it's an even better grift to say, you know what? Sales of these stupid fart jars are falling off. Let's pretend you went to the hospital from over farting and put out a press release that you farted too much and you had to go to the hospital. Because I wouldn't have known she was farting into a jar, except that she got sick while doing it.
But also,
she's like Santa that makes all the toys. It's like, really, she's running the whole fucking production line from grass to fucking coof or whatever. She's, blasting them into a jar. She's got to unscrew the lid on that. And then, is there any quality control down the line? Or it's like, come on, nobody believes you're actually.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Andy.
Yeah.
There's got to be some customer service involved here when you're spending 0.05 Ethereum. It's $3,100.
I want a picture.
No, that's not
helping her in her assembly line. If she's making it up.
How did they get it into the jar?
Yeah, it's like Ghostbusters. How do you cannot trap a fart and put it into, that's why the Dutch oven.
Got to be like a.
It's not a thing. We live in an age when clicks makes you fucking millions of dollars, and it's a weird thing that I don't understand.
So a fart jar costs $157. Oh wait, hold on. An NFT fart jar costs $151.
Wait, it is an NFT.
She has a digital fart jar.
I was
that's
just
available
joking.
as an NFT.
God damn.
Yeah.
But then that means there's not a real fart coming to you. She was actually farting in jars, though, also.
See,
because that's what made her.
She probably thought of this while she was in the ER. Hey, how do I trick these fuckers?
Jesus.
Yeah, how do I pay for my medical?
I hate the future.
Yeah. Hey,
but don't worry, none of us will be around for much of it.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in fart jars for my surgery. Oh, I don't have any money, man.
Here's a fart jar for you. Here's a fart jar for you. We're all getting fart jars.
And the anesthesiologist gets an extra fart jar.
Yeah.
Here you go, buddy.
The doctor's like, oh, I just put them with the other fart jars.
Yeah. Oh. Does anyone raise chickens anymore? I mean, we got fart jars.
Just so I can eat eggs. Just to keep the ball rolling. Get the eggs, the beans. Yeah.
I'll sit here and make fun of fucking fart jars, and I make goddamn like $200 every month from occasionally playing video games and bullshitting with people. So I'm just as guilty as Fart Girl as I don't understand how the future works, but
I got 20 grand donated to me just for having cancer.
That's a great grift, Andy.
I know.
Well, there's one downside to it.
I know.
Well, and all the fucking bills
that
you got, it's probably barely gonna make a dent in your bills.
I know it'll be like it's like having chips in Vegas, and I keep it's kind of I'm gonna just lose this amount, and then all right, all the chips. What do you mean? No, I'm not all in on this. Still got 2 chemo plays.
Did you say chemo or keno?
Chemo. Chemo tickets. Chemo scratch offs. Oh yeah, I know. I'm not letting the calendar's kind of an asshole right now. It's like, but stay right around here, like 6, 7, 8 days out, 9 days out. I can handle that, and it's gonna chip away. I know it always does, and it's gonna get there, and it'll be fucking D-Day. And then I gotta find somebody who looks just like me, slip in there, find a homeless guy and have him go in and have the Whipple surgery performed on him.
Yeah, I can see. I understand your fear of it, but I would also be like, I just want this fucking thing over with.
But I feel good. I feel good, so it doesn't. It's like, if I was like if that liver thing had continued, I'd be like, fuck, I need to go in and have. They put the stent in, and then I think probably someday they'll call it the Andrus stent, where they go, this one patient asked if he could
like
put a
Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, like I said, how about just a gold stent? But I said it maybe too sarcastically to be interpreted as actual medical inquiry. But hey, if you're putting a plastic stent in there and it makes me feel better, then put some gold on that shit. I know some dudes whitewater gold mining. I don't know them, but I watch the show, and I feel like I know them. And then I could just gold plate the stent and keep it in there, and then maybe take some drugs around it. Do some ayahuasca every once in a while, and you go get your stent. But maybe that's the solution, a gold stent. But they're not looking at it. They're just going to slice it open and cut some shit out because they're not thinking out of the box like I am.
Did you just steal the idea from the infomercial about everything that has copper in it and then just swap it for gold?
Uh-huh.
The healing properties of gold.
I have been
draw the cancer out.
I've been waking up a lot with Chuck Norris on TV, but I don't know about the copper. Yeah. I don't know if it's helping me with anything, but I watch Chuck Norris work out for about 15 minutes before I find a different channel. And I'm feeling like my old karate is just right. You know, like all I need to do is walk into the right dojo and I'm back at the level. Yeah, I'm still I left it at the girls fight. I have as a conclusion. I'm still waiting.
Oh, really?
On that. Yeah.
Oh, you
so
haven't seen the last 5 minutes.
No. I know.
Oh,
I know it's got
that
a
makes me
lot.
happy.
Yeah, it's got a lot of plot, and it's got to want to bring you back. Right, nothing right now makes me even want to see another Valley tournament. I feel like they overhyped it. They put the chick fight at the end.
So did you watch the chick fight, or have you?
No, it just started. It just started, and so.
Boy, you've got a whole lot left to go, buddy.
Yeah, I like to watch things like, and then save, it's like a book. It's like, oh, this is going to be a weird ending. And then, I was like, I got LaRussa, who's a bitch. And that other girl who, yeah, I want the chick to, the whore. I think she's kind of portrayed more as a whore. But I want the whore to win because fuck the LaRussa family.
Yeah, well, that's it. We're that is the problem. Like the Cobra Kai girl, the whore, is the girl who is the underdog. Really, she's had a terrible, hard life. She's tried to overcome all this shit. Her family's garbage. Has to, her mom's a mess. She's trying to deal with all this shit. She's trying to come up and learn all this stuff. And the LaRusso girl grew up super rich because her dad won the Valley tournament and then bought all these car dealerships. So, it's like you don't know who's supposed to be the good story here that you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You're really the
that's what
the
they don't
underdog
have.
Story is the Cobra Kai girl.
Yeah, and then the underdog.
You guys walked
the aggressor.
Yeah.
You put the.
You went to watch Cobra Kai,
and half the audience.
He's catching up.
I wish you guys would watch good shows so I could watch them too. We could all talk.
Or tell us you're going to watch them and talk about them because I saw 2 episodes.
Yeah. Well, it's just when Ron Silver comes back, it really kicks in. You realize that.
But I understand what you're saying though. There's not someone who comes in wearing the black hat and you're like, that's the bad guy, or someone like the Lone Ranger with the white hat. I mean, there's no. Yeah, maybe that's
Danny was picked on, and he learned the ways of Mr. Miyagi, and that taught him how to overcome his bullies. It's very simple, but
I bet Miyagi would just
Miyagi. We're all the bad guy.
Miyagi
all the adults are bad. That's the lesson in this show.
That's what they need to do is have Miyagi come back like the guy in Ghostbusters. Have him come back, Mr. Miyagi.
Harold Ramis?
Yeah, have him come back like Harold Ramis and just fucking shake his head and kick ass. It's like fucking clean them all 3 dojos out. Daniel Sam disgraced, Daniel Sam's done a ton of shit wrong. Miyagi wouldn't stand by, and then fucking he's already kicked Johnny's ass, or didn't he? He kicked his. Well, he beat.
He won the tournament.
He kicked around them kids. That's kind of. I feel like they made fun of that in Bad Santa, when Bad Santa kicked the shit out of them kids. But basically, Miyagi did that. Miyagi was like an old man, and then he crawled over and started kicking the shit out of high schoolers. He fucked up.
I don't know if we talked about this before, but there was a whole theory online that I read one time where it explains if you rewatch the movie from a different viewpoint, Daniel was the douchebag all along. He was the one that started shit with everybody. He was the instigator of stuff, and it was interesting because you don't think about it that way.
What did he do to get his ass kicked? He poured a hose over on somebody rolling a J. And Cobra Kai's, man, don't go to the dance with Shake and Papers. Come on. Everybody was asking for trouble. He's asking for trouble for pouring it. You guys are asking for trouble by not coming to the dance with a few ready to light joints.
Yeah, some
Everybody
pre-rolls,
knows
man.
that
Come
you
on.
roll your pinners before the junior high dance. That's just a known thing.
Mr. Miyagi would have always rolled his joints. You know, the Vietnam guys, they must smoke some shit. And I'm glad I wasn't in if you're in Vietnam, if you have a pact with somebody, that's your lifelong fucking thing. These guys have basically a blood pact where one saved the other. So that means it's basically like your indentured servant. You can call them out or whatever and go, man, what about in Nam? I didn't quit on you over in Nam.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, man. All right, I'll be
you
right
have
over.
To come back and you have to come back and do it. I mean, that's what happens in this season. Kreese goes to Terry Silver, who's living a beautiful life in his mansion on Malibu, and says, "You got to come back and help me bully these kids." And the guy leaves his $1 million house and job to run a dojo in the valley and start bullying children.
And not even run it. He's just hired to chime in once in a while. and only sometimes is it appreciated.
Right.
It's like you brought him back and you only want to have him chime in once in a while, and then the other times you're like fucking pissed off about it.
I can't wait until you watch the last 10 minutes of the episode. It's gonna blow your mind.
Really?
Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Well, I got to tell you, I was really disappointed in the what's his name, Miguel, quitting, and then I thought Danielson was going to come in and give him rub the hands together and treat the back. That's what I was thinking. It was going to be that predictable. But then the fact that, here's a guy who's a returning champion just quitting because his back hurt and fucking mailing it in and letting Hawk, don't you want to fight that other fucking, the other kid? And then the fucking shirtlessness. It's like, dudes, come on.
Yeah, the two guys in the finals, they end up tied, of course. They go to the first time ever in the All Valley tournament, sudden death. They go in for the sudden death fight and they rip their shirts off and they fight shirtless for the sudden death point.
Yeah.
Come on,
and
man.
They've both been really working out.
Since you guys seem into lame 80s stuff, I think we should all watch the movie Rad for the next podcast. That's my favorite 80s lame movie, and it has all the lame plot twists that you guys are describing. Every single one of them. The evil.
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that movie, and I swear to God, within 2 weeks, I was editing a podcast and I have the TVs on in the fun house. So there's always just some movement on the TV screen, and fucking Rad came on and I stopped everything I was doing and watched the whole thing. That is a horrible movie.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good.
It is the epitome of 80s horrible movie. All rolled into one.
I was in junior high. That's right, like in the 78, 79. And it was funny because that was kind of when it was filmed, like in the 80s.
Oh, we're losing Shaylee.
Yeah.
Did anyone see the movie Class Reunion? I think I talked about that one before. It's like a National Lampoon movie. It just kind of had it had just cast-offs of other movies like Flounders in it. I don't know. But it was like kind of a 80s cliche kind of a movie. But I don't know. You have to see it.
What was it called, Andy?
Class Reunion. It's like a guy goes back to his class reunion and murders his.
Well, I got that part.
Yeah.
But he murders everybody?
I talked about it. Yeah. It's Anthony Kiedis' dad plays the murderer in the movie. Blackie Dammit was his.
It is a National Lampoon.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny.
No class has less class than this.
Nobody really saw that. Yeah, like Lizzie Borden High School, and Walter Baylor comes back and murders
So it's
classmates.
like a comedy horror movie?
Yeah, not really much of a horror movie and not much of a comedy neither, but it's just stupid, really.
So no, Erickson, no.
It's barely a movie.
It is barely a movie. I mean, you could say that about Caddyshack was barely a movie. It was just a bunch of scenes that they pasted together to tell a story, but not really a cohesive story, really.
Yeah, it wasn't even
was
the story they were.
funny.
Well, it wasn't even really the story they were trying to tell when they were making the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it was supposed to be about the caddies, and it really ended up being about everybody else, you know.
About a
If you watch
talking
the
gopher.
making of.
The guy.
I think I read like those, like Bill Murray just fucking improv almost everything he did.
Yeah.
You know, him and Chevy Chase. I read, I think once.
Yeah, well, they only had him for like 2 days, and they had to film all his scenes, you know, as fast as they could. And, you know, they didn't have him in a scene with Chevy Chase, so they made up that scene where Chevy Chase is playing golf at night and ends up in his fucking thing. Like,
The dumbest premise ever.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was supposed to be more about the you know, the caddy getting the girl possibly pregnant and what's going to happen and all, you know, that whole thing, and then they just threw all that out because it wasn't any good.
Yeah, that was a classic movie.
National Lampoon's Class Reunion, Andy, on Rotten Tomatoes gets a 0.
Yeah.
You can't go any lower than that.
Uh-huh.
Let me
Yeah,
see
I remember
here
it as being hilarious, but I think I saw like I was like 14.
Yeah.
I think I did a book report about it too. Like I'd go see movies.
What?
And then
about
I would
a National Lampoon movie?
Yeah, I would go to see movies, and then I would write a book report, and it's just. You guys do that?
That's
it's
fucking
sort of
genius.
It's plagiarism, but it's you know.
But is the movie a book? Because it doesn't seem like
that's not even. That's
yeah,
not
but
you
that's a loophole, man.
Lampoon?
That's up
I
to
didn't
the
put the
teacher
same
to
title.
find out if that's a movie or a book.
They didn't check. It was just.
So you said like, I read the book Class Reunion by
it was
National Lampoon.
I think I did. Maybe that one was just straight up Class Reunion. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, like it's like more of a movie review, but I would present it as a book I read.
You never had to actually show the book itself.
Hey, hold on. This is Coquille, remember?
Yeah.
They're more concerned with sawdust checks.
Yeah, they're looking for wood chips in your ass.
Yeah.
They were just looking for words on pages, man. They didn't even read what the fuck you wrote.
Yeah.
I was good at like you know, just, and sometimes I would just see a movie poster and then I would write a book review about the meteor. I was pretty good at assembling bullshit.
One of my sons, when he had book reports, he knew I liked to read Stephen King books, and I've read every Stephen King book there is. So he would act interested in a Stephen King book and ask me a bunch of details and then write them up like Cliff's notes, like he read the book. And I never busted him out on it. I thought it was a good grift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you're kind of proud. Like, I know this book so well, I can get this kid a good grade on his book report. Yeah. Fuck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. And he knew he had to learn how to ask the right questions. He was learning skills. He was learning how to work people. And I respected it.
Andy.
Yeah.
I would love to hear like you do a book report on like Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
that might be too.
It's a book about. It's a story about clam chowder.
But
let me get to that later. A cross-country road trip, 500 miles, and a policeman later. That clam chowder was delivered.
Fuck.
So you know who was in Class Reunion, Andy?
Blackie, damn it.
We've talked about her in the past.
Gilda Radner? No.
Ann Ramsey.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's right. Yeah. State says you got to have Jello. I think that's her line.
Fuck, now I gotta watch it.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah,
cook.
I
let's
don't know
watch
where to
it.
find it. I was trying to look it up so I could tell everybody where to find it, and I can't find it streaming anywhere.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
just on YouTube.
It's the humanoids of the deep
so
of the comedy world. Flounder's in it. I think Flounder's in it. Yeah, Ann Ramsey. Fucking. She's like when you get a like a child actress and they're at just that perfect age and they try to get them in as many movies as they can. That's like Ann Ramsey at that age. I bet her. They're like, oh God, is Ann available? Oh my God, we can't think of anybody else for this role.
Yeah,
Cigarette Day.
When she didn't get the old lady in Every Which Way But Loose, I'll bet she was pissed off. I bet she fired her agent when she didn't get that part.
Get out of here, God damn it.
That was my part.
You goddamn dirty ape.
Yeah, her finest. So yeah, if you like Blackie Dammit and you like that lady, Blackie Dammit wasn't the best of fathers, but he's a fine actor.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't either.
He was in the movie Lethal Weapon. At the very beginning, he was the guy who was going to jump, and Mel Gibson said, "Do you really want to jump?" That's Blackie Dammit. That was Blackie.
That's a deep cut.
And his dad, his kid is the lead singer of Chili Peppers. Anthony.
It's Anthony Kiedis' old man.
Yeah.
What?
He wrote I got his book, and he's kind of a.
Wait a minute.
I got. Do you want a book report?
You did a book report.
Andy see another poster? He's making up the story.
Let's just break this down. You did
I didn't read it.
Report on a movie this motherfucker was in, but then you read a book about him.
I haven't. No,
as a book report.
I haven't read the book. I should read the book. Or do a book report. You know, I did that with Jaws too. I hadn't seen Jaws, and I wrote a book about fifth grade. I think used to get like punitive papers and shit. So I'd write, that was one book report. I could do a book report or free write. Generally, I would do a book report because then I would just free write.
Andy, that takes some balls.
No, my favorite is when Andy says something and then he realizes how insane it is after he says it.
Yeah.
I mean, Class Reunion is something that no one has probably seen. Jaws was a blockbuster. It was the first blockbuster fucking movie.
Yeah.
To fake a book report on a book that was widely read and a movie that everyone saw? It's fucking balls.
I think anybody cared.
Brilliant balls.
That was an R movie too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish I'd have, should have had a better ethics on the free rights.
Fuck.
So what was this guy's name? Blackie Dammit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Walter Baylor in it.
Mm-hmm. And right? Walter Baylor's sister. I believe he played. Yeah, he played both him and his twin sister. That's what caused him to lose his shit.
Okay.
Chapter 2.
I'm definitely gonna watch this thing. Is it on YouTube?
I couldn't find it on YouTube.
I mean,
really?
Oh, it's on it. You can stream it. You can stream it on something called Real Good, REEL good.com.
Fuck, let me write it down because I gotta goddamn watch it.
Yeah, it's a classic. It should have caught on more. Like I think they did like up the creek. There's a series of Lampoon movies that they tried to. You remember that one, right? Up the Creek. Had a Cheap Trick original song. In it, among other things. I think that one had Flounder, maybe. And it had Pee Wee from
Paul Rubens?
Porky's. No, from Porky's.
Oh, Pee Wee from Porky's.
Yeah. That was another one. It had Tim Matherson.
Nice pull.
Yeah, Tim Matherson, and then so it was like like the National Lampoon was trying to recapture some of them bigger movies, and they put out
go back to the well. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what a class reunion must have been. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Up the creek is on Paramount Plus if you still have your free subscription.
Oh, there we go.
South Park. And did everybody watch South Parks? Did we talk about those? I think
yeah.
I've watched a few. I don't know if there's a newer one than the one I watched the COVID ones.
The two COVID ones was the last
one. Now them guys are just I think they're fucking just counting money right now. Like they got their big dough shit. Yeah. Like they don't need to keep churning out episodes. I feel like that's what I've been on, like this getting donations and stuff, and then I've been getting phone calls from people that I like haven't heard from in a long time. And because Delaney's thing put the GoFundMe, and it's on Facebook, and it isn't anymore. It's done. And thank you to everybody, because it doubled what she asked. But so I've been getting these phone calls, and it's like people who I haven't heard from, and then I thought maybe there was like like you go, well, there's a reason they haven't, something happened, and they've been holding a grudge, and now through these phone calls I realize I'm right. Like, oh, okay, like oh yeah, no, like oh no, yeah, I've been meaning to call you or whatever. Like, no, you haven't, It's like, it's sort of what it strikes me as is like like when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired from the NBA, and he went around for one more round of games or whatever, and teams that didn't even like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had gifts for him. I'm like doing a farewell tour for some people, like because some people don't, like I'm probably gonna live. I think I'll live. Hey man, let's live. Let's be positive here. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. But other people don't know that, so they're just like getting a hold of me to go, oh, hey, sorry about being a dick for all those years, without saying that. Sorry, I overreacted. That would be, but I've been getting I've had about 3 or 4 of those. I got a call from my brother Jeff, and I answered because I didn't recognize the number, and I was like, oh fuck, it's Jeff, and then it was already too late. So
yeah, but you pick up on your brother, right?
Well, not necessarily. Well, sometimes no. But he's, I got his prayers coming or whatever. But it's like, a big rocking chair. That guy you fucking complained about and put an elbow in your throat, you're giving him a big chair. Got a motorcycle. Kareem got him. I think that must have been the home team. But anyway, yeah, I'm on the farewell tour with some people. Sorry about
like who do you? Is there someone?
Well, I had a couple of friends
with that you.
No, I had a couple of friends who, a few years ago, I was with another guy, and we smoked weed near this place, and it upset these two guys. So, but it was like, it seemed like nothing, but then I never heard back from this one guy I was friends with and would talk to a lot. But then a couple, 3, 4 years go by, and then I get this phone call, and then, I can tell he's kind of bullshitting he hadn't heard about. I almost did a impression of him, which would be a dead tip off to who he is, but so I just knew there were, there's but so I'm learning that I'm right about that. If you haven't had like if we were friends and we haven't talked in years, it's probably because you did something wrong. And I forgive you. You know who I got a hold of or got a sent a message? Sam, policeman Sam.
Talent?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. He has me in the
Sam,
death.
Hail Satan. Hail Satan.
Yeah, Hail Satan. Sam Stark.
Yeah. So he hasn't gotten a hold of me for a while because he's
probably planting drugs
policing. He's policing. He's
wrestling.
Keeping us safe.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like if it's like, oh, somebody has cancer, you go, nah, I can, I'll get a hold of him, be friends again. He's probably not gonna, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I think he went around the bend, so he's gone.
Yeah, I feel like when I flipped him over and he bit his tongue, that was kind of the last time I wanted to hang out with him because I fucked him up. He's a cop, though. You can't fuck around when you're playing wrestling with a cop. You got to treat it not like PE wrestling. You gotta treat it like you're wrestling for your life.
The last time that I hung out with him, I guess you guys hung out with him with one of his cop buddies one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So you saw some of that. Like, it was not cool. I was not. I did not enjoy myself the last time I was around that guy. So he seemed pretty racist, which didn't seem to be a thing that he was before. So I don't know if that's just part of what going through the academy in St. Louis, becoming a cop. Then you just have to embrace your inner racist or
your buddy system, right?
That's it.
Because I think it was more. It was more the cop. It was the cop buddy that was like making us go, who the fuck is this? It wasn't Sam as much, but guilt by association. I mean, he's dancing with the guy with the guy that he brought, right? He's hanging out with him, and we're reacting to it. And
what do you do when you're in Bisbee, Arizona, and two armed racist St. Louis police show up?
I'm really glad I wasn't around. One of the things I never wanted friends or thought I'd have friends like this at this point. I'd already given up on all that. And one of the things I really like about all of this group of friends that I have is the douchebags get squeezed out real quick. It doesn't take a long time before, people that don't fit in get shuffled quickly.
Dish.
Well, there's always some cracks that people slip in.
Yeah.
Gump being one of them. He lasted 2 years. Jesus Christ.
Who did?
That kid's in the Navy now,
Gump?
Man.
Oh, Gump.
I know, man. Really? But he slept on our sidewalk for 2 years. A fucking dilapidated fucking camper.
That had to be hard.
I said, hey, why don't you just park it here on Halloween in 2018 or 2017? He didn't leave for 2 years. That fucking thing stayed there.
He was just
no, he wasn't racist.
He was a blob. He wasn't.
I'm talking about Chad saying like people fall by the wayside, and it's like it took a while for that to fall by the wayside.
Yeah,
he's in a better place.
Yeah, he's serving the country, fighting for so we can talk. We can say anything on this podcast because of what Gump's doing on the wall.
Yeah, man.
Where'd he go, Gump? Thank you for.
But he definitely got his shit together. As far as figuring something out.
He was still a kid, really.
Yeah. You imagine how much yelling had to
got
happen?
there. He was really a kid, and he was still a kid when he left. And it's good. I saw him on Facebook. He friended me a while back, and that's how I saw he's in the Navy. And he looks real good. He seemed like he needed somebody to tell him what to do. Probably, he's good for the military.
If somebody would have talked to him like that at Safeway, he'd still be in Bisbee. Can't fuck around with the military.
When I met him, I really felt like, at that point, Reverend Derek had kind of moved on. I felt like he was really filling Reverend Derek's recliner in a way, like he
definitely.
Yeah, I thought he had.
Yeah, and then we got rid of the recliners.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Bye-bye.
I watch it unfold like I'm like kind of like an outsider that still knows what's going on, so it's interesting to me. So you see, like a soap opera. It's like, oh wow, that's what's happening. All right.
You're like Grizzly Adams. You still keep up on what's going on, but you got your own thing going on.
I love it. It's the best of all worlds.
Come down from the tree line.
Yeah.
Best of all worlds. I describe it as I always think of it as I'm in a self-imposed prison. I know I belong in prison, so just be in prison. So I don't go places, except I have really, really good yard time. That's the difference. I live in a self-imposed prison, and when I get to leave, I get to go do something really, really cool, and then I come right the fuck back to prison.
Yeah.
Work release.
Mm-hmm. So.
Fuck.
Oh shit.
All right. Well, I feel like we're there.
Once again, I love this, guys. And Andy, I don't contact you privately ever, but I also don't contact Erickson or Shaylee or any other person on the planet Earth outside of podcasting.
Just because I got cancer doesn't mean I want to talk to people any more than I do.
Yeah, I respect that. So I'm shutting up. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's fucking off. But I do love you, and I do think about you, and I got a thing right here of mushrooms.
Is it a gallbladder?
Can you go have your
yes, it's a gallbladder. It's got cancer too, so
when you have your procedure, I'm going to eat mushrooms so that I'm not going to pray for you, but then I'll I can connect with you. So,
visualize the bile duct.
That's right.
Thank you, Chad. That'll be yeah. I see. Mine Dog's going to do a marathon podcast, so it'll be like a national.
Mind Dog TV is where you can find Mind Dog. I think that's on.
Yeah, I just never not doing that show. He was like, "Hey, you want to be on my show?" I'm like, "All right, when?" He's like, "Well, you can come on in the morning and come on at night." I'm like, "Are you?"
I know.
It's like live on that.
I think he lives.
He's very accommodating.
That's his apartment. That's studio space,
his
and then
studio
he goes and plays gigs too. So he's either
literally
podcasting,
a studio apartment.
He talks about a life outside of that, but he yeah.
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say,
but I don't know what I still don't understand what's happening. It's either whenever I want to. He's asked me to do whenever I want to do it. He's like, yeah, just do it then. Like he's always on. He's already doing a marathon show.
He hangs up on somebody else to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he recently got aggressive with me about coming on his show, but he might have. But I don't know if I want to or not, Mind Dog. So we'll talk.
Yeah. Well, Chad's the ultimate get.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
When I first went Chad, that's when it was like we had just met Chad, and we're like, oh, maybe we can get Chad to come over and be on the podcast. It's like, oh shit. Well, I don't know. This guy is kind of sketchy.
I play hard to get.
Yeah, dude. You're doing it right. Look at you now with your own Twitch channel.
I wish I get like nervous at this point because Chad. Well, I'm not smoking as much in this room. I'm smoking plenty. That's one thing I'm doing. You know.
But like out on the porch, you're just not doing it in the house?
Yeah, I go out on the porch. Out of respect for my cats.
He grabs his walker and shuffles out onto the porch.
I got kind of half a cat hostage going. I can't just blow smoke around here. Fucking dude. He won't fucking understand what's going on.
Yeah, heaven forbid.
You don't want to spend all your GoFundMe bill money on extra cat food because your cat has the munchies all the time because you're in there hot boxing.
Oh shit. So all right. Well, let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for being out there and watching this stupid shit every week. I don't know why you do it, but I'm glad you do it, and we're glad to do it for you as long as you do it. So we'll keep doing this. We'll keep you updated on all of Andy's shit. We'll do, I think, 1 or 2 more of these before Andy has his
I was
operation.
just looking at that.
And we'll keep you updated through the whole thing. We haven't even amongst us talked about how we're going to handle all of this, so we don't even know yet. But we'll keep you guys updated on everything as all of this happens. So, but we're glad you're out there, and we love you guys. So we'll be right back here next time. We'll see you.
Back with more karate news.
Strike first.
Yeah, you can watch. You can, sometimes you watch something too close to when you tape. I'm just fucking rolling with that show.
Dude, I binged the whole season on Friday, and I just.